garbage that I have on here.
That's an interesting playlist you got there.
Yeah, well, thank you. Well, part of it was just playing from YouTube, and then I was like, you know what? I want to play the stuff I have in my iTunes account because I want to
No,
be
that's fair.
semi-fair. Hey, everyone in the chat, how does it sound? Do I need to balance each other out? Am I too loud? Is Ditto too loud? Are we too
Yeah, I can
soft?
patch a little of that on my end too if I have
Yeah,
to.
I can do it a smidge on my end as well. So let us know. Oh, thanks for letting me know about the setup. You up,
Yep.
Ditto
I'm loud.
down. Okay, hold on. Here, let me try it first, Ditto, and then I'll let you know if I need you to do it. So me up, and then you down. Let's try this. I can also turn you down a minute. It sounds all good. Ditto can go down a little bit. Okay. All right, hold on.
You know, it's really funny because when we first started doing this, I felt like I almost couldn't be heard. And now that we're here,
Yeah, now.
uh, it's like I'm the only thing that could ever be heard.
Oh, how does it make you feel? How does it make you
Uh,
feel?
I can't say I'm necessarily the one that needs to be heard in this arrangement, to be honest. I feel like if there's anybody whose opinions don't need to be any louder and more obnoxious, it would be me.
Oh, hey, you have to understand, man. I have opinions about a lot of different things. If I spoke my mind about every little thing, oh man, it would just be a hot mess every day.
Oh, I believe
Mm.
it.
Speaking of hot mess, that tea is hot. Oh my.
See, I was gonna try to get some coffee ready for this thing, but did not have time.
Oh really? Oh man. Well, if you want to go get some coffee, I can go keep everyone occupied.
That's all right. We've
Uh,
kept them waiting long
and we
enough.
kept them waiting long enough. Well, everyone, thanks for joining us for episode 10 of Let's Get Wicked. We are doing this live. There is no topic. Anything goes. We can talk about anything under the sun. That is what the show is. It is more an appreciation to all of you
Absolutely.
folks
Uh,
listening
I,
for all this
I
time.
can't really speak much for Jonesy, but I, for one, wasn't exactly expecting this one to make it this far. So we kind of wanted to do a little something to pay you guys back for keeping this going and keeping it as strong as it has been. So
Yeah, I've been really impressed with just even because there's actually quite a bit of announcements today that we can kind of talk about with everybody. Um, oh, too much down on Ditto? Thanks for letting me know. I will crank it up. There we go. Crank the co-host up back a little bit. Um, but we just want to say thank you. So we've been only doing the show on YouTube, and it's amazing how many I go check the views probably once a week, literally when I upload the next week's show, and it's amazing how many of you folks just watch the show on YouTube. And one of the big announcements that we have, and I've already talked about this a little bit in the Discord, is the fact that we are on pretty much every podcast service out there now. Every episode, we are on all the big ones. We are on Spotify. We are on Google. We are now just a few days, I believe yesterday or the day before, it was. We're now on iTunes podcast. I do not know if every podcast is up on iTunes yet, but we
if it's
are.
not, it won't take long.
Yeah, I was gonna say we just got approved for
Uh,
iTunes podcast stuff. So we'll be up on that front as well, which is
we are
crazy to
now
think.
officially the premier Disney villainous podcast. So
Yeah, that's right. No one else can take us up on that throne unless someone wants to have better banter than we do. But if we're being honest, there's too many Scar jokes that or just like talks of Scar and Oogie Boogie and Fate the Rat that we can't let this die.
right.
You know. No, yeah, yeah. Stuntman says no chance in the chat. I know.
Right.
Um, But it's been really awesome doing this, so I really appreciate all of you sticking around and listening and joining us in the Discord and hanging out. It means a lot to me. I know it means a lot to you too, Ditto, obviously, because I didn't think we were going to make it this far either, personally. I honestly thought we were going to burn out pretty fast, but we've been going pretty strong. We still
No,
have some cool topics to talk about.
like it blows my mind sometimes because they say like everything on the internet has some sort of a niche. but I wasn't expecting it to be this forward.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to. I mean, tabletop. I mean, like when you go into the tabletop industry as a whole, we are kind of the niche industry of like all of media. Because like I would say, like the biggest mediums out there are like you have games, and then you have movies, television, comic books, probably some other stuff, and then tabletop. That's where we kind of lie. We're not necessarily the super bottom of the barrel, but like in terms of all the big ones, we're probably at the bottom.
No, you're
And
completely right.
yeah, but the fact that we have this many people listening to this show as well, I mean, like granted, we are very much associated with Disney with this game, but even then, still, like how we talk about this is very much at a very nerdy competitive level, not some Disney Joe schmoes.
No, that's absolutely the case.
Oh.
It's very interesting to watch the internet as a whole take stuff that's meant to just be a nice casual romp through the woods and turn it into the most cutthroat things you probably have ever seen in your life.
I know. It's like what the whole internet is. It's like people yelling at each other, being like, "Well, this thing's better than this because I said so." You know? God.
No joke.
No, no. Sometimes I jump on Twitter and I'm like, "Oh, two people are arguing. I'll just go look at something pretty."
Yeah, really.
I don't know, and especially because we got this little game called Animal Crossing yesterday.
See, unlike everybody else, I am not really that big into the Animal Crossing thing.
I
Um,
understand.
I was a little more interested in the new Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, despite the fact that the art style is not to my taste.
Have you played it, the new Mystery Dungeon?
I am in the process of playing it now.
Nice. What do you think of it?
Um, it's if you've played the original Red and Blue Mystery Dungeons, it's exactly the same game. Um, just with some of the move set and mechanical things kind of tweaked to fit the newer generations.
I gotcha. I was curious to try it out, so I tried the demo, but I wasn't that impressed personally.
Yeah, I mean, it's about what you'd expect for Nintendo trying to take on the like dungeon crawling roguelike kind of
Yeah, it's also
game.
got this weird like real time
Um,
thing too, doesn't it? Where it's like every time you take a step, like the enemies take a step too.
yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, which is fine. I won't complain about it.
No, it's what makes it
Um,
unique. You know. Um, I'll tell you one
that
thing
art.
though. In this world that we live in right now, Animal Crossing is the game that everybody needs.
You're not wrong.
I kid you not. Um, it is definitely something that I definitely needed right now, and I am digging it so hard. It is the way I describe Animal Crossing to people right now is like think of all those stupid app games that are like time wasters, but make that actually satisfying and something you actually want to do.
Yeah,
That's
that's
essentially what
fair.
Animal Crossing is.
Mine for that has been Stardew Valley. Going back and
Oh,
playing that some
really?
more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been playing through Stardew Valley a little bit myself. It's been I actually I haven't played it before until now and like sitting through it and I'm like, wow. Um
Also, Final Fantasy 14 in the chat. That's a good one.
yeah. Was it Stuntman's like, "Can we talk about the art of Aladdin?" Are we talking about the particular card of Aladdin?
I hope not, because boy, oh boy.
So here's the thing. I noticed this the other day. So I was looking at some of the art because I was doing some stuff for talk about Scar for my Scar guide video that I'm
Right.
putting together. And the thing is, I don't think the Aladdin art is bad. I think the facial expression he's making was just like the wrong still to grab. It's the same thing with the Hercules art, where it's not like
Yeah.
Hercules himself and his body structure and everything is fine. Like, and same thing with Aladdin. It's just the face that they chose to do just looks really awkward. Because, like, if you look at Go the Distance looks fine. And some of the other, what is it like when you see Aladdin and some of the other art, like oh god, like Razul, he looks fine in that. I think it's just the face that they chose to do. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. And just like the way the lighting is on those cards, it's not the shadows were a little overdone, and it just makes it look kind of
Yeah.
kind of funky.
Yeah.
Good question in here. What are you guys' thoughts on the Marvel villainous movers? I like them.
I I dig Ultrons. I
Um,
I'm I'm more curious about that. As we every day we draw closer to Marvel Villainous. I'm more curious about how that whole game is going to turn out.
yeah. I feel like after that initial hype wave, it's kind of fallen under everybody's radars as far as what actually that is going to be. And I think, honestly, for as much as the Fate Wars have really become a defining aspect of the recent meta, I
Mhm.
think Marvel Villainous is going to be something that really challenges that
Yeah, I think so too.
um, to a pretty interesting degree. So
Yeah.
we'll see come the initial reactions exactly what it's going to be like.
And you bet that we'll be there reacting to all that stuff when it comes out.
Oh,
Um
absolutely. I want to be on the front of this thing.
I know. Was it I dig the movers. It's funny because with all the hella talk recently, because I just pre-ordered the newest expansion to Marvel Legendary, and one of the masterminds of Marvel Legendary in that expansion is Hela. So I'll get some. I'll be going up against Hela and Marvel Legendary here in a week or so. So I'm
There you go.
excited.
That ought to get you warmed up.
Yeah, I know. Get me all warmed up. It's so weird. It's so weird too because I remember when I was a kid and like learning about all these Marvel characters. I'm like, Hela's never gonna become that big, and now she's one of the main like female villains of all the MCU. You know?
Well, to be fair, the MCU doesn't really star a ton of female villains,
No.
so it's not overly surprising that Hela got uh, kind of singled out for that.
You know, we need that representation. I do think we do. Um, it's weird too because when I was looking back when we were doing the Marvel Villainous show, I was kind of looking through to see some other villains and stuff, and
Yeah,
there really isn't that many like true female villains that are like prime time characters per se. Like there's
not
not one you
really.
could put in like a mastermind scenario. Um, I mean the only one I think you could do is like Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, but I feel like if they're going to use Dark Phoenix, that side of Marvel might be best kept as an expansion.
Oh yeah, no, we know. Oh, I already knew that. We're
100% along with Spider-Man and all that.
It's actually funny you say that because so I actually, for those of you who don't know, there was a game that was recently on Kickstarter called Marvel United. It's by it's a published by Spin Master, developed by Command Games, and one of the expansions that was in that was nothing but the Sinister Six. So
Interesting.
yeah, and it's like all the main like heads of bad guys of Spider-Man. They're all there. So I'm kind of curious how they will
See,
tackle
this
that.
is why I keep telling everybody Spider-Man gets too much recognition because everybody else got two, maybe three villains, and Spider-Man's just over here like, I've got an entire roster of them. What are you
But
talking
I
about?
mean, it also goes what I tell people about Spider-Man is that what makes Spider-Man so great is all the villains are fantastic in the way that they interact with Peter Parker. Um, the not to say that some of the other villains don't have that in the MCU, but like it's not as strong as Spider-Man because Spider-Man
Well,
from the ground up was built to be that relatable type of character to have these like real life situations. So you build villains around that concept and it just makes it a lot better.
no, you're right.
Yeah, I read a lot of Spider-Man. It's weird too because like when I've read the comics, like I try to read Thor and some Avengers and stuff like that, and it just hasn't clicked with me as much as Spider-Man and X-Men did. And I think this is because those stories are just a lot more relatable to like society and like growing up and things like that.
They really are, especially compared to something like Thor. I mean, it's a really cool concept and I love it, but at the same time, you're not going to get everybody who gets as invested in something like him just because, like you said, it's not quite as down to earth.
No, it's why
Ha
it's
ha 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 ha.
yeah, it's like when you I don't know how many of you folks play this little game called God of War on PlayStation 4, one of the greatest games of all time. But even though that we have this guy who is a giant god who is also a very angry man, the fact that you can make that character so relatable in so many different levels is incredible.
Well, it's the
Incredible.
magic of good writing.
I know exactly. It's what I mean. Sometimes I feel like someone's writing my life, you know, and they're like, "All right, one day we're gonna write a sitcom. It's all about Joker, and then I'll be like, oh god, I don't want to watch that. Some painful memories right there. All those cringy moments in my life.
But the cringy ones are the ones you laugh at the
Oh
most.
no, that's true. That's true. And you're like, oh, did I really do that? Really? Oh, yeah. So we're just hanging out tonight, everybody. We have no real agenda. We're gonna go until around like 10 o'clock or so. So most of this is just Q&A. Ditto and I are just gonna sit here and just talk about whatever the hell we want to. I will say one thing. We have one, possibly two small goals. All right, we're gonna start with the first one. Okay.
Here we go.
So, I don't know how many people live right now are actually subscribed to the YouTube channel. I will tell you folks this. Currently, right now on the YouTubes, we are at 352 subscribers. Don't worry, this is not a stream where we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. If we get to 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to have to go dye my hair or something like that. Got to become one of the prime times. I think... what is it? If we get to 400 tonight, Ditto and I have decided that we will do a live game on the Twitch channel. Now there is a second goal. We will not say what that goal is yet. And honestly, I don't know if Ditto and I even want to do that goal.
Come on, you got to give him something.
Yeah, we got to give him something. We got to give him something fun. But we'll see. So we'll wait and see. And that is something we want to do. So here's the deal. The channel is actually doing very well behind the scenes. I'm not going to get too much in the analytics of it, but it's something that it's possible that we can start making this a lot more consistent, doing some more things with it if there was some more incentive. We'll put it that way. And one thing is definitely being taken care of very well, but the subscriber count needs to grow a little bit. So this is a way for us to try to boost that. But
Yeah,
that's not what tonight's all about, though. Yeah,
we want to be able to do a lot more things for you guys, and we're this close to being able to get it to happen.
Yeah, we're getting closer. So this will help be a big jump. And there's also a lot of cool things I would like to do with this. So especially like once we get into Marvel Villainous and stuff, I want to be able to keep balancing the two games on the channel, showing off some cool matches, as well as like do stuff like what I want to do with a Scar video, like show off all the really cool tricks to help get you folks to actually want to play Scar. Because I still, believe it or not, Ditto, I don't know how much you go on Board Game Geek, but every time I go on Board Game Geek, someone is complaining about Scar.
That doesn't surprise me in the least, actually.
No. Prospero, I see you in the chat. I'm going to Q&A you for half a second. When you folks were workshopping Scar, did you get a lot of complaints about how challenging he was to play? I am just curious. Because I definitely think he is the most challenging to play. And I wrote about this. Oh, we got a question. Villainous question. My fiance and I play matches against each other all the time, but 90% of the time the games go for an hour and a half or more. By the end of the match, we're worn out and we don't even care who wins. Any way to lessen the play time? Ooh.
Very first counter question, because it's important. Which villains are you playing?
Yeah, I was gonna say if you're playing Ursula mirror matches, that's why you're taking a long time.
Yeah, if Ursula or Jafar or Scar or Hades or any of them are involved in the game, it's gonna take longer just by proxy almost.
Yeah. To answer your question, I think the biggest thing I learned when playing this game is that your first few games when you play it are going to take a little bit on the longer side, even closer to the hour mark, because you're learning the characters. Once you understand what you're supposed to be doing with the character, you can really just start moving really fast with these games. I mean, there's been a few times, even when I've played against Ditto recently, that we've gone on a little longer than maybe like 40 minutes. But most of the time, once you know what you're doing with the characters and you know what cards you're supposed to need and like when you're supposed to get rid of stuff in your hand, you can get a match under 30 minutes. Sometimes even under 20. And that's still like 20 minutes and not it being a blowout. That's what I would say. Was it Stuntman is
Yeah.
saying, I play daily. Our games usually last between 15 to 30 minutes. Now, that has dropped a lot since we've got the games at Christmas when we were doing 45 minutes minimum. Yeah, that's Stuntman. That's exactly my experience with this game. Exact same
Right.
experience.
And of course, the first couple weeks after a new expansion are going to slow down a little bit again because people are getting into the pattern of the new characters. But I said about two or so weeks after that, everything should smooth out a little bit again.
Yeah. I was going to say, especially with these newer villains, I would say like Corella and a little
Yeah,
bit of Pete are on the slower side. Maybe to some extent
they
Gothel.
definitely are. Gothel, it may just be how I've been forced to play Gothel because of my inability to get any important cards. But yeah, Gothel's been on the slow side for me too.
Yeah. I once you know how to use them though, I don't think it's too ridiculous. Um, there are terms of time wise because especially with this new meta with Corolla where everyone's figured out that you just place the puppies all over the place. There's no problems.
Yeah.
Um, I gotta tell you one thing, Ditto. I am so salty about that Yzma match. You have no idea.
Still, really?
Yes, I will. It's my fault. I mean, I don't know when that video is going up. I uploaded it the other day. But oh my god, that made my heart hurt because someone was like, "Yeastman faded me to hell," and I couldn't do a thing. Well, let me tell you something.
I mean,
Let me tell you something about
fair.
Yzma. Ditto and I had a 2 to 2.5 hour game.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh wow, jeez.
I remember that.
Oh wow,
That was bad.
That sounds horrible. How did it take that long?
It was Jafar and Hades.
Jeez, it was
That was just a bad time all around.
no. What was it? I remember that match where you were sitting in on it, but you weren't playing. Where it was my two friends. It was Prince John, Queen of Hearts, and Hades. I ended up winning, but that match should have ended a long time ago.
Yeah.
I got a question
Well,
here.
and I'll say this,
Yeah, go for
kind
it.
of tying back to the way to lessen the playtime thing. The less you fate in some situations, the faster it'll go.
True.
If you're not being super aggressive, the certain characters will really kind of pick up the pace for you a lot. So keep that in mind too.
Yeah.
If you're not deliberately trying to hobble each other, we'll probably end fairly quickly.
Yeah. Especially because it depends on what cards you get in your hand. Because even if you get fate spam pretty early, if even if you got the stuff to take out heroes or counter effects and stuff like that, you're gonna get destroyed. You're gonna be there for a long time because you have to remember that when you play a hero, you are instantly blocking actions, which means you're losing options. And when you lose options, that means it's going to take you longer to get somewhere. Because this is a perfect example. I needed to go get some tea today. So because I didn't have tea, it took me longer just to make a cup of tea. But if I had the tea, it's going to take me a lot less time to get the tea in my hands because I didn't have the options. But once the options are cleared up, I'm good to go. I think that's not a bad analogy.
Right. It sort of works.
Yeah, it sort of works. Yeah, I mean, it's not tabletop. Hey, we got a question here. I know we've talked about this before, but if you could choose only one more 3-box set and one more 6-box set, who would you want in it?
Oh boy.
Oh God,
You
guys just feed me.
About.
You guys just feed me this stuff. That's what you guys are doing. I would say, I'm trying to think about this. So 3 and a 6. All right. So this is how we're gonna do it. So we're gonna say if we had one more set entirely, what we would want that box to be. I'm gonna treat it as a 3 character. All right. No theme attached. It would be Gaston, Oogie Boogie, and Lady Tremaine. If I had 6, it would be those 3: Horn King, Madam Mim, and Chernabog. That would be it. After that, you're really stretching for people that I don't think anyone really wants. I know we've talked about this before, but like I know people want Shan Yu, and I would want him too. The whole issue is that he is a character that his representation is for the movie and not necessarily the villain. Because we want Mulan, but we don't necessarily want Shan Yu. Um, so that is my answer.
Absolutely. If it's just three, given what's most likely, I have to agree on Gaston. At this point, Oogie Boogie, absolutely. Uh, Third one's a bit of a toss-up. I would probably say Madam Mim for that one.
I figure you're gonna say Mim.
Um, and that's excluding the expectation that I have for like a Halloween themed October spooky pack. That would be Oogie Mim and Horn King Chernabog. I don't really care which.
Yeah.
If we expand that to 6, then absolutely 100% add Frollo. Add. Yeah, I'm never not going to say that.
I know.
I would probably throw in Chernabog at that point, and I would probably throw in Horn King at that point.
Yeah. I'm rooting for Frollo for you too. I think he would be cool to do. I just his likeliness I don't know is very high, but I definitely think he would be good.
They've pulled some quick ones on us already recently.
True. True.
And I don't know. I feel like of the available options, Frollo is the most interesting of the character villains they have.
True.
That aren't, just evil for the sake of evil.
Yeah.
And that may be just because he was inspired by, a story as great and widespread as The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Yeah. But I think that character-wise, he would make sense over, something like Chernabog.
Yeah.
Where he'd be a cool concept, but in practice, it'd be hard to really kind of get a particular feel for it.
Yeah, I think that's why kind of when we've been talking about Lady Tremaine, the only reason why I would want Lady Tremaine is because I think her gameplay mechanics would be really interesting to work with and play with.
They absolutely would be. And Tremaine is also up there in the terms of the characters that I think have enough of an interesting character mechanic from the movie to go with, because she is a lot more diplomatic than even some of the villains we already have.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see her come around, and I definitely would include her probably in my list of hopefuls.
Yeah,
still gunning for Tamatoa.
That's like no.
If they were gonna pull something from that movie, it would be Taka, and that's
Yeah.
That's all I can come up with is maybe.
What is it? Do we have any hope that Shere Khan's gonna make it at all?
At this point, no.
No,
I don't anymore.
Okay.
Exclusively because Disney forgot the Jungle Book existed before they released the reboot. So I don't expect that they'll remember it long enough to put it into a game.
I forgot. I was reading something where what was it? They was it Disney lost the rights or something to the Jungle Book for a while.
That's possible too. I wouldn't be surprised.
I was reading something about that, and then they got it back. What I was hoping they would do with the character, since we're doing all these weird curveballs with Pete and stuff, if they would use his form of villainy from Tailspin, I think that would be a better way to use the character.
See, it would be a more interesting way to use the character, and it also opens up a lot of options. Because so far we've stuck to the Disney Renaissance movies, But if Tailspin's on the table, then I mean, really, kind of anything is.
Oh yeah, no. If you put Tailspin in this game, you better damn well put DuckTales in this game, or I will be upset.
Yeah, you'd start opening the world up to like DuckTales, and once you start doing that, I would have to advocate for specifically Failure Factory's Cypher.
Oh yeah, we gotta
Uh,
get Bill Cipher in
I
this
feel
game.
like if we're doing Disney Channel stuff, then it would be criminal not to have
Oh
Bill
yeah, it'd be
Cipher.
stupid not to. He needs to be in this game, in some shape
That
or form.
is like
Yeah,
that's like we get all the mainline Renaissance villains out, and we want to keep the game going.
yeah.
Uh,
That's who you put in
which I won't say no to. I wouldn't say no.
there. No, I'm still curious how they're gonna approach this whole, because regardless, we know they're at least gonna do one more expansion with
We have
Marvel
one more
coming.
for sure.
Yeah,
On top of Marvel, and that's all we know is that there's at least one.
yeah. There's at least one coming in some shape or form. Um,
The way they phrase it and saying specifically at least one makes me expect that there would be two. Because there'd be no reason to say at least one. If they only had the plans for one.
Yeah, I think it's also I think because based off what I've been reading, they've been typically releasing the sets around late July, early August, and then like early March. So they have to stick to that schedule, because as soon as they don't stick to that schedule, we know that we're done.
Right.
Um,
And the jury's still out for me on if Marvel Villainous is going to count as that August release. Obviously, it's in August, but they've also very heavily leaned towards that being kind of a different game.
oh yeah,
So that's kind of where my hope for the October pack is coming through, with it being the spooky theme. Because if they're going to do it, this is kind of the year too.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, well, the
spacing
thing
that out
you know,
just a little bit.
yeah, I just I think it because I would still expect them to release some type of expansion, but I don't know if you want to put a Disney expansion out at the same time a Marvel set gets put out. But then, like at Gen Con, like how do you display that? Because that's the time to at least talk about it if you at least don't have it there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because Ravensburger releases all sorts of games around the same time. Like they did the
Right.
Wonder Woman game that came out the same day as Perfectly Wretched did. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
I think that it's definitely not outside the realm of possibility for them to be at least close together, if not the same time.
yeah,
And I mean, this is the opportunity, if they're going to do it, to get a bunch of big fan characters in. So
yeah.
just root for the bag and we'll all be fine.
Yeah, just root for the bag. Bring back the bag, guys. Hashtag bring back the bag. We need more bags of bugs in our lives. Make sure you let Ravensburger know that. Prospero Hall already knows that I want the bag of bugs. Because
I'm pretty sure everyone does at this point.
Yeah, no, if you don't know that I want Oogie Boogie at this point, and you've been sleeping under a rock.
Yeah. Or you just got here.
No, you just got here, you know, and you're just like, why is this guy? Why are these two dudes talking about this like game and and Disney and bags of
We got the
bugs?
first one in chat.
Yeah,
Here they come.
yeah. Bring back the bag. That's right. You damn well better put that in the chat. There you go. You all better
Here it
tweet at
goes.
Ravensburger that hashtag right now, and you need to let them know.
Absolutely.
I want to know by the end of tonight if Oogie Boogie's in this game. Got to
See,
flood
don't
their
tell
Twitter.
them that. That's how they open up the doors to complete despair.
They're like, all right, guys, we know he's coming. We know. I will never forget the email I got when I was working on the Perfectly Wretched the giveaway stuff, as well as getting my copies. I sent my contact. I was like, I am looking forward to whenever you folks decide to put Oogie in the game. And I won't say what they told me in the email, but they super hinted at me about it. And I was like, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Don't. Don't do it. Don't. You're just going to kill me. String me along. But yeah. Where was it? We're getting Almeida Slim. All right, guys.
Oh no! Don't bring that in here. Don't give them any ideas. This is how stuff happens.
No, what's going to happen, though?
Guys.
What's going to happen is that instead of... Oh, so we don't even worry about Disney. With Marvel, they're going to be like, all right, guys, we know exactly who you absolutely want. You want Mole Man from the Fantastic Four. Not Doctor Doom. Not Galactus. You want Mole Man.
No,
You want Mole
no.
Man. It's like when we got MODOK in Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
It's like if they were to jump into the Pixar a little bit and do The Incredibles, but give us the Underminer instead of Syndrome.
Oh, my God.
Like, please.
Don't do this. Don't do this to us. Oh, God. Okay, question for you. What if we had a Pixar box? It was only 3 characters. What 3 Pixar characters that you would think would have a realistic chance of being in this game?
Question.
I know it's a hard question.
Otto, for sure.
Okay.
Probably have to go with Otto, Emperor Zurg.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, everyone's fan favorite is Syndrome, so I'm gonna go for it. The Wheel from Wally. That's the one. That's Otto.
I would say, if we had to be realistic, I'm going the realistic, not necessarily what I want. You would get Syndrome. He's like a definite yes. I'd say you get what's his face from Monsters Inc.
Water News.
Yeah,
he's good too. He'd be a good fit.
Yeah, he'd be a good fit. And you probably would get Lotso.
Oh, don't say that.
So here's the thing. So if you had to pick, like, of all the Toy Story villains, I think Zurg is what everyone wants, but I don't think really works because the only time he was really a bad guy that could actually work is if you count the Buzz Lightyear cartoon.
Yeah, I've thought about that a lot, and if you were to do the character, that's the only way to do it.
Yeah,
and I think that he'd be just fun that way.
Yeah, I don't know, and I don't really know if Disney wants to dig in that side of their IP to use the character like that, because as soon as you do it like that, you're instantly eliminating the ability to do stuff like Woody and like Rex and Bo Peep and all those different types of heroes that you can use. Because I don't think they can't use Mr. Potato Head because that's licensed by Hasbro, right. So that's a whole different ball of wax. But that would be the way that you have to do Zurg. And also, one I want to put out there that I think would also be really good. I think Hopper would be awesome.
Oh, he'd be so much fun.
I think if you put... I'm not a huge fan of Bugs Life, but Hopper would be the best one to put in this game.
The only thing about Hopper would be I would probably approach him the same way they did Scar.
Really?
Yeah, so I feel like he's kind of done.
I gotcha.
But then again, there may be some angle about him that I wouldn't realize, but they feel too similar to me.
Yeah.
Just the way they run out.
Yeah, you could probably find a way to do it. We all know the Pixar box would have the villain from Cars too.
I think Disney is doing everything in their power to pretend that never happened.
Okay. Have I told you this fun fact about me with Cars 2?
Probably not.
I love Cars 2. It is a guilty pleasure movie of mine.
Is it really?
Love that movie. There is something about that movie that just, I enjoy the stupid factor of the cars with the machine guns and the racing and all the different countries and shit. All right, story time. Story time, everybody. Hold on to your butts. Oh no, I don't know if I can even do it. Hold on. Ah! Stupid fuckos. Oh god. Alright. So, I just moved them all around. In this case right here, do you see what these are, people? These are Cars 2 characters sitting in this little container.
Well,
I own them all. There is a whole other thing over there. I will not grab it because that was already too heavy as it is.
Well, that's dedication. If
Yeah, that's
nothing else.
dedication. So I remember I was 17, and it's when Cars 2 came out that year. So it was like Christmas time when I was trying to collect all this crap. I remember that I was at a Walmart at like 8:30 in the evening, hanging out with some buddies, and I went to the back because I was gonna go check, and they had like that big like Hot Wheels type of bin filled with all sorts of characters, and Professor Z was the hot item. He was the one that was hard to find in the store, and when I was digging in this bin with an old guy, and I found Professor Z in this thing of nothing but like Maters and Lightning McQueens and shit. And the guy looks at me, dead stare, is like, "Was that the last one in the bin?" And I'm like, "I'm pretty sure." Old grown man in a Walmart starts chasing me over this toy. And I run to go find my friends because my friends were in this Walmart. And they were like, I was like, "Luke, like, what's wrong?" And I'm like, "We got to get out of here. We got to get out of here." I run to the aisle. This is before self-checkout was a thing. I throw my stupid Professor Z toy on the checkout. Girl that I know from high school is like, "Is this, what do you get?" I was like, "Why you getting this?" I'm like, "I'm getting it for my brother." That's what I told him. And that was my day.
That is beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, that was story time right there. That was pure dedication.
There you go.
That was in my collector days of just getting stuff. I miss those days though. I really do. I don't know if you collect anything, Ditto, but I miss the days where actually like going out and like hunting stuff was like a thing still.
I used to collect things for a little while, but for the most part, I found that getting run over by crowds typically wasn't my strong suit. So I decided to just hide away and, do normal things like talk about tabletop games.
Oh yeah. Well, now there's this thing called Amazon, and you don't even have to go to a store. It's great. Someone's like, "For my brother in the chat." I need to make that really. Like there needs to be like a bunch of catchphrases that we have for like the podcast, where it's like options in big letters.
Don't will the memes into existence.
No, we have to. We have to. That's what makes it. What makes the show special.
We have Fate the Rat. That's all we need.
That's all. Well, that's your thing. You have Fate the Rat. I could have my things. Like
that's fair.
Options. You gotta do it with the hands.
Also, I'm definitely calling out Great Salmon before mentioning King Candy.
Oh
yes.
Do you really think King Candy's gonna get in here?
Do I think he will? No. Do I want him to? Absolutely yes.
Okay. I watched Wreck-It Ralph recently, and I don't really. The problem with King Candy is that I think he would work too much like Ratigan to make him actually like a fun character. And I know you told me you were working on a version of a custom King Candy, but like, I'm not really sure like how to make him more unique, because essentially what happens is he's trying to get his car ready to win a race. Vanellope would ruin his race. As soon as he gets ruined, he turns into Turbo, and then what's he trying to do at that point?
Well, the angle I went with was a little bit different in that he had kind of already lost control of which one he was at the time.
Okay.
So you're just constantly kind of flip-flopping between the two. And that kind of mandates the passive effects that you have for the game. I've actually sunset that character recently.
I gotcha.
Not because I think it's a bad idea, but because I'm retooling that sort of switching leads mechanic for a different character that it is yet to be announced. We'll put it that way.
I gotcha. I do want to really sit down and make my own custom character, but I'm in the midst of working on my own game right now, and I'm like, if I change gears that fast to like something else and work on a different engine, it's gonna screw up my flow with what I'm working on right now.
No, that's fair.
Yeah, so because I have an idea for somebody that I think is not Disney related. He is actually someone from Smash Brothers. That I will put it at that.
Yes.
He is my favorite to play in Smash Brothers currently.
Yes.
His name is King K. Rool, and you have to have, when you have a character like that also has a theme song as great as he does, you got to do him some justice. So I have it thought out in my brain, so it'll be a good time. But
Uh, that would be fun.
yeah,
That could be fun.
yeah, no, I think it'd be super awesome. Especially because I think building his locations be really easy. Because if you know the original Donkey Kong Country pretty well, you can just basically use the different islands or the hub world
No,
places that you go
absolutely.
to. That's just the locations, and then King K. Rool's ship, you know. Um, but yeah, what was it? Options: Fate the Rat, Bring Back the Bag. That's right. Those are themes of the show.
Absolutely.
Man,
I'm completely okay with this.
yeah. Is there anything you want to talk about, Ditto? I feel like I've been talking about cars and toys and stuff for a way too long of time.
Oh, I don't know.
No, you've been looking more into that Kingdom Hearts TCG thing that we talked about?
Oh, I have
You
absolutely.
have?
That's such a nostalgia thing for me because uh I actually bought the physical starter decks when it started out,
Yeah.
and I was so sad when they decided to cancel it early. Uh but I mean, it is what it is.
I went home last weekend, and that's where all of my current Kingdom Hearts trading card game stuff is, and it's all in the little box. And I remember the way I actually bought it all. This is a really weird story. Two places I bought it. I did not buy it when it came out. I actually bought it after it was basically gone. I had a comic book store in my hometown that was like, someone had requested for them to go get like a booster pack of all of it, and they were selling it also on a discount to what it normally was at retail. And I went and I saw it. And I'm like, oh, I'm a Kingdom Hearts fan. I've always wanted to try this. I'll go buy a bunch of it. And they were like, we were actually supposed to keep this out for someone, but they never reserved it. And I'm like, okay. And I went and just bought a load of it. And then at Gen Con that same year, there was a retailer that was selling out like all of their Kingdom Hearts stuff. Like we're talking like booster box for $20. Full booster
Wow,
box.
really?
Yeah.
Yikes.
That's when I pulled my foil Sephiroth.
Right.
That I was like, oh yeah, this is good. I don't think I ever actually got a Cloud though. I wanted Cloud and Sephiroth because for those of you who are Final Fantasy VII fans, you understand. Um, but
I mean,
yeah,
I think it's worth it just for Sephiroth, to be honest. I
oh
mean, did
yeah,
you see that
seriously,
boss battle?
yeah, no, I mean that music though.
Oh, it was so cool.
Oh my god, you know how upset I was that he was not in Kingdom Hearts 3. Do you have any idea how upset I was?
I mean, it. I understand why he wasn't in Kingdom 3, but that doesn't mean I have to be happy about it.
No, honestly, fighting Sephiroth is one of my
Um,
favorite parts of those games.
well, they tried to replace that with a couple other boss battles. It's not the same.
No,
It's not the same,
no,
man.
it's really not. No, I I remember the first time I beat Kingdom Hearts 1 Sephiroth, and I just felt so accomplished. I was level 62.
That low, really?
Yeah, I
Nicely done. Nicely done.
yeah, I mean, granted, the way I forget what ability it is. Which one's the one that basically makes no? Is it Sonic Blade that you chuck the Keyblade? Is that the one?
Strike raid.
Strike Raid. There you go. Strike Raid makes you invincible when you're and then you could do damage. So when he's doing like all the blitz bullshit blazing whatever hell attacks,
Yeah,
you're invincible, and if you're high enough level, it can deal a lot of damage. So that's
it
what I
can.
did.
That's really the best way to go about doing it.
Yeah. And then I use like Arcanum or where the hell it's called it too, because that one's pretty good. Um,
No, that's the best way to go around it and just hope you hit.
yeah, I usually when I play Kingdom Hearts, I do strength builds, so I'm pretty strong by level 60. In terms of my overall strength, I don't even think I was using an ultimate weapon either, at least on that run.
See, I
Last time I
think
did
the
it.
last time when I was playing 1.5 through, I actually did a magic build,
Really?
which was definitely a little bit different because usually I lean more on the defense side myself.
Oh,
So
interesting.
um, playing Glass Cannon and Kingdom Hearts was kind of fun.
Yeah, I've been meaning to try to do a magic or a defense build next time I play the game because I tell people Kingdom Hearts 1 is a very special game because it is like it is you can literally make each one of the characters have their own unique builds, and especially in final mix, which is technically even 1.5,
Yeah.
you can basically make all the different party like the main core three party members like any build you want. If you want to make Donald like a physical damage dealer, you could, which is weird to think about. Um, and then like Goofy could be
It's a little
support.
funky.
Yeah, it's funky, but it works.
Typically, I go with Donald for support because Cure.
Oh yeah, no, of course, of course. Like
And then
especially once you get Cure Spell, it's like why do I need to have Goofy in my party? You know?
yeah, I usually just let Goofy do whatever he wants. I don't care.
Yeah. Do you what is it? Do you keep the special party members in once you get to the worlds, or do you try to stick with the core?
It depends. Um, I typically keep. Basically, I keep the magic-based ones, and I usually trade out Goofy.
I gotcha. I've been doing it
So like
recently.
Jack, Ariel.
Yeah, I was gonna say I usually keep Ariel in my party when I go into the Atlantis because you got that extra heal.
Granted, I try to actually avoid that world like the plague, because control schemes.
Oh yeah, no, God, those controls did not age well. They did not age well at all.
No,
I remember I was
not
playing
really.
it semi. I think I played last time I played Kingdom Hearts was like 2 years ago. I think what was it 20? It would have been 2018. Last time I was like January of 2018. I was playing through it and I could not believe how bad those controls are. It's
I mean,
awful.
the controls. I'm not gonna say the controls were that bad. They just didn't age well. That's all
No,
it is.
yeah, they just didn't age well. Like in a
Um,
time where like you have all these unique like flying and swimming controls in all these games, and like
yeah. Well, we've gotten to the point these days where we actually have 3D camera control,
yeah, no, exactly that
uh,
too.
instead of just kind of the rotations that were in the original Kingdom Hearts. So I mean,
I forget,
just that camera thing.
I forget. In Final Mix, did they make it so you can use the right stick as camera?
They, I think they did.
I think they did too, but it's not like a
I
true.
don't.
It's not like a
Yeah,
true camera
it's
though.
not like it doesn't. You can't. It's not a 3D camera. You can really only rotate it.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can only do like left and right. I don't think you can do anything crazy with
So
it.
it's really hard to control the camera in a lot of instances. Which I mean, for Kingdom Hearts, as long as you have the lock-on button,
Oh yeah, you're set.
the camera's controls aren't really that big a deal. But at the same time, that one world is a complete slog.
All right,
Um,
Kingdom Hearts nerd time. What was what is the heart? What in the original Kingdom Hearts? That's also the one I'm most familiar with too. I have played them all, but like one is my absolute like one of my favorite games of all time. So I've nerded out on this game so hard. What is your favorite boss fight, and what is the hardest boss fight for you?
favorite boss fight?
Yeah.
Um, Geez, just from the first game, it would
Yeah.
probably have to be. Um, I really enjoyed the boss fight against the Phantom
Oh yeah, that one's really good.
the most. And then what was the other post game?
Kurt, I don't know how it's pronounced, but it's like Kurt Zitza or something like that.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah,
That
the
was
spinny blade
awful.
thing. Yeah.
Either that or Sephiroth for the hardest ones for
Oh,
sure.
oh yeah. No.
And even Sephiroth, you can cheese kind of.
Yeah, you can cheese.
Can't really
Sephiroth a little bit.
cheese Kurt too much. So.
No, you really no. I was gonna say yeah, Kurt Zitza is my favorite. Um,
Because it's like he's either immune to magic, or he's immune to physical damage, or he's immune to. Like, there's never one set strategy for how you can deal with him. You just gotta
he's
think on
the
your feet a
only
lot.
boss too. I'm pretty sure that you actually have to level grind to make sure that you are sufficient enough to kill him. Because especially towards
You
the
really
end,
do.
like if you don't have the right stuff equipped and you get magic drained,
Because you really do have to be proficient in everything to be able to handle that character.
yeah, you have to be. Because like other boss fights, because like we said, like Sephiroth, you can just have certain abilities and cheese your way out. And like with the Phantom,
Yeah.
sometimes you can just get lucky and beat the boss.
Well, it's a lot easier once you realize that you can cast stop on the clock.
Well, I mean, that's the whole gimmick of that fight, unless you can like
I
one
cannot
shot
tell you
fire him or something.
how long it took me to realize that.
Oh, I cheated and used a guide, so
I
um,
I went at it probably 20 times before I realized, hey, that's a thing I can do.
that's the thing I could target. No, I still have my original Kingdom Hearts guide,
Nice.
the Brady Games one. Yeah, I still own
Yep.
it. Mm-hmm.
I had one for the 358 over 2 days uh, game, but I don't remember where it is. It probably got
I
thrown
did
out at
not
some
like that
point.
game. I did not like that game at all.
See, the gameplay was a bit, I mean, typical for Kingdom Hearts, but I feel like that one was my favorite from a story perspective. And
Yeah.
don't even get me started on Kingdom Hearts lore because
Oh no, I bet you
I
could go
could
down the
go
yeah.
for
We
decades
got
on Kingdom
we got
Hearts lore.
changed the podcast subject. It is no longer a
Yeah,
Disney
really.
villainous show. Is now just Kingdom Hearts. That's what it is.
Don't tempt me.
Well, I remember what was it because I bought the collection on PS4 for 1.5 plus 2 or plus 2.5,
Right.
and like watching the animatics for was it 3 or whatever the hell it is, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, the story's great. Glad I didn't play the game.
Oh, the story for that one was probably the best individual story uh, out of all of them. Easy.
Yeah, no, the
Just
story in it's
because
really
it's
good.
got all of the best characters, and it actually focuses on developing them more as characters.
Yeah, rather than
Despite the ironic fact that all of them are supposed to be the most characterless things in the series,
which is funny.
which
No.
is great. Also, hashtag Kingdom Hearts villainous. Yes, I'm working on that. Give me a
spoiler
minute.
alert! Spoiler. Is that what it is?
Not exactly.
Okay.
But I am absolutely working on a lot of Kingdom Hearts villainous stuff
Okay.
in the background.
I guess.
I don't know what it's going to be like when it is finally finished, but it'll be something.
Interesting. You'll have to keep me in on this once it's done because I'm curious about it. Wow. This has been an interesting show so far. Does anyone else have any questions in the chat? Anyone?
Yeah, if y'all got questions,
Yeah,
throw 'em
seriously,
at us.
we haven't been really doing that many questions. We just been kind of pointing stuff out and everything. Ask away, everybody. We are here. I showed off a personal, my personal cars collection over here. So if you want to get any more deep than that, please, let me know.
Playtester? It might be a minute just because I got to polish a few things up first. But if it ever gets to that point, I'll definitely keep you in mind.
Orange juice, pulp or no pulp?
No orange juice.
Really? No OJ for you?
No, apple juice. If I have to pick one.
Apple juice is pretty good. I don't do any pulp with my OJ. I'm a big OJ drinker. I enjoy my OJ.
Yeah, that's fair.
Favorite Pop-Tarts?
Oh, that's a tough one. I have to go with the chocolate chip cookie dough.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, and I like the unfrosted chocolate ones too, but chocolate chip cookie dough is up there.
My favorites are the non-frosted cinnamon or the cinnamon ones. Yeah, those are really good. I am a big fan of the cookies and cream, but you put them in the freezer and you keep them
I bet
cold.
that is pretty good.
Yeah. And what is it? The peanut butter ones are also really good. And recently I had this. Believe it or not, there is a Fruit Loop Pop-Tart that exists.
I saw that and I avoided it like the plague because I didn't know what it was going to be like.
So I am a sugar cereal connoisseur, and I enjoy Fruit Loops. If you like Fruit Loops, you will like this Pop-Tart. But if you do not have milk with it, you will be like, I need milk. Where is it? Where is it?
That's never an issue because milk is like number 2 on my list of top beverages.
Oh, really? Yeah, no, milk is like number 1 for me. I love milk.
Just under coffee.
Oh man, we got some questions here. What is it? We got, if you guys had to bet money on a game, who would you go for? What do you mean by that?
Like a game? What game are we talking?
Yeah, are we talking like villainous, me against Ditto, or like 2 characters? And then the other question is favorite serial Joker. That is a really, really, really tough question. My favorite cereals: Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Fruit Loops, Fricks, and Cinnamon Checks.
Ooh.
Cinnamon
There's one
Checks
at
is
the
pretty
end.
good. Yeah, Cinnamon Checks is pretty good.
If it's not Fruity Pebbles, we need to have words.
No. I enjoy Fruity Pebbles. I just can't eat them for breakfast.
I don't care for the Pebbles just because they get soggy too fast.
Yeah.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch, kind of in the same boat.
I don't eat milk with, or I don't pour, like, in my cereal bowl. I eat it dry. I drink milk with my cereal, but I don't eat it in the bowl.
That's an interesting angle.
Yeah,
I can't say I dislike that one.
No, I don't like my cereal wet in the slightest.
Along those lines, though, favorite cereal for me would have to probably be Peanut Butter Crunch.
Oh, that's another good one. Oh, that's a really good one.
Failing that, Reese's.
Man, I don't even know if you count that as a cereal.
I count it as a cereal.
I know. I mean, you can count it as a cereal if you want to. Man, you guys make me want to go to the store and grab myself some cereal, or grab myself some Pop-Tarts and some cereal. Jeez.
If you had to play a game where there's money, what character would you choose to play in Villain?
Oh.
That's a tough question to answer for me. Recently I would say probably Queen of Hearts.
Yeah.
Just because I've had a lot of luck recently.
Yeah.
That being said, Evil Queen is extremely safe.
I was gonna say if you wanted to win.
Facilier is pretty safe. Basically anyone that's not Ursula or Yzma.
Yeah, just don't pick Ursula and you can win. If I went into a tournament that had a cash prize, I would probably go in with Dr. Facilier. I go in with Scar. I think my Scar is good enough to run in a tournament. I think those are the only two I really feel confident playing. Because I've been noticing this when I've been playing like random characters and stuff recently for just like the TTS matches that I don't have enough knowledge on these characters to be comfortable enough playing with them. I can probably I understand what they do, but like with the Scar video I'm working on, it is so like the in-depth knowledge that I have of this character and how you're supposed to understand the character is very like surreal. And Dr. Facilier, you don't have to get that in-depth, but I know enough about how to play Doctor that it's pretty easy to understand what you should be doing at all times. I think those are the only two I could be confident with.
That's fair. It's hard to say for sure, especially with the stipulation about cash, but
yeah,
I'd definitely say Queen of Hearts is probably the most, just because you have a pretty good chance of steamrolling.
Yeah, you do.
Especially if you're like in certain matchups, it's just a complete clean sweep.
I'm pretty sure Queen of Hearts is a counter against Scar. We've been learning this the past few times.
That's not fair.
I mean,
one of those games was really lucky, and the other one, I don't even know what happened that time.
I was gonna say one of them was lucky, but the other one, yeah, no. I mean, well, Scar still needs a little prep work, and not Yzma. God, Yzma's just like that game haunts me. I hope you understand that.
I kind of feel bad, but I also kind of don't.
No. Should we tell the chat? Should we tell the chat? I think we should.
I mean, that's entirely up to you if you want to celebrate that beauty.
So what was it? It was Yzma versus Gothel. I was Yzma. Ditto was Gothel. And I basically had the win in my sights. But what happened was, Ditto's like, all right, I'm depressed. He's going to probably win, but I have to shuffle the decks and pick a deck. I had superiority in my hand, and I was so cocky that I picked the deck of all decks that had the damn on the run card. And well, we can just safely say I lost.
Yeah, he just quite literally asked to lose.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it was completely like his choice. He
Yeah,
could
it
have
was my
not-
choice. I was just like, here it is, point. And
He chose to lose,
yep,
which is great. Because I, so far, am terrible with Gothel.
yeah, you weren't that bad.
So,
You got me at the end where I was just like, there's nothing I could do.
well, there was nothing you could do because you just shuffled Cusco away.
Yeah, I know. I just put Cusco back. I have to say, though, as someone who actually relatively enjoys that movie, that deck is one of the most thematic decks in the game. Let's just
Yzma
let's just
is
be
a
honest.
weird character for me.
Why is that?
Because thematically, she's great.
You're right.
They hit every point exactly the way they needed to with her. For theming.
Right.
Mechanically, if I had to compare any of the official characters to one of our fan things, she would be it.
Interesting.
Because it feels exactly that much like, I don't want to say unfinished because it's still fun, but it feels like it's just, there's something that goes along with, I guess, changing the fate mechanic up that much. It just feels a little clunky to me. Like, you either do really, really, really well, or you can't get off the ground.
I think the reason why I find it so thematic is the fact that, like, you know, in the movie they're always kind of like 2 steps ahead of Yzma. So the whole idea is that literally the person fading Yzma is literally playing as Cusco and Pasha the whole time. And but
no, you definitely are.
Yeah, and but with that though, it makes it so, since they have so much knowledge on you, they always know how to counter you when they need to. So they don't even necessarily have to fate spam you.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, Cusco's out. All right, Cusco's out. I got to play on the run. Or if Kronk's out.
Well, it's just,
yeah.
It's a feels bad kind of situation because in every instance, if your opponent is playing you against you properly, your opponent will know more about your deck than you do.
Right. Absolutely.
Which, like, that's something that no other character in the game even comes close to having.
Yeah.
Is not only your opponent knowing more about your deck than you, but knowing exactly what to do to counter it.
Right.
I feel like the way it's designed, and especially this kind of has to do with the Fate War thing too, just how fast your opponent checks through all of your Fate decks. You just get to the point where you can't do anything because they'll always have that one card up on you and you just never get anywhere.
Right.
Which, I mean, it's a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's
just
bad by any means. It is definitely like,
it's not bad, but I feel like it's a little too easily abused.
yeah, I think
Just
the
a
only
little bit.
counter to it is the fact that, like, so you get Kronk out there, and Kronk is a 6 strength hero, so he can take out any of the heroes except for Cusco. So as long as you are just actively trying to vanquish the heroes out of your way, that's not going to be a problem. And on top of that, once you know where Cusco is, you kind of can just go ahead and smash it with a hammer on other places to try to get rid of the cards that are in those.
You can. But first off, playing Kronk early is a little dangerous because obviously he can turn on you. And
Oh, right, yeah.
You want to save right-hand man for
Yeah.
truly dire situations, especially since, at least for me, Yzma seems a little power hungry.
She can
Anyway.
be in certain situations, but it kind of depends on how much of your board gets covered. Because I think all of her power spots are on the top, if I'm not mistaken.
They are.
Yeah, or except for
Except
the 3.
maybe one gain one.
Yeah.
But it's
Oh.
like she constantly wants to be playing cards
Mm-hmm.
to move as fast as she can, and so she never really gets the chance to stockpile.
Yeah.
Which really hurts if Kronk ends up switching and you got to go dig for a right hand man or something to have any hope of staying in the game.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, but it's like there's not another character in the game that can just be immediately perfectly countered. It's like, oh, you've got Kronk and Kuzco on the same spot. I know exactly where to go to get on the run, or I know
Yeah.
exactly to get Path of Righteousness.
Or you could be like me and win
Or
with Yzma in 3 turns. You know.
yeah, that happens too. Um, it's just she's so. I don't want to say she's so inconsistent, but she swings way too wide relative to the rest of the cast.
Yeah. I mean, there's that little bit of randomness factor that you kind of like. It's not as like Pete has it too, but not as bad as Yzma. Because with Pete, like the only thing that's random is the where the goals are placed and what goals are out there. And regardless, like wherever that goal's location is at, you kind of there's a strategy to accomplishing that goal at that location.
Yeah,
You know, like there's no like because all the fake cards they counter the like particular goals, but they're not like always bombarding. Like it's not like your opponent always knows what to do. You know what I mean?
right. And it goes back again to if you're really good about like fading Yzma early, even though it doesn't seem like it hurts her too much, you know where every single card in her fate deck is at any given time.
Right.
So she's the one character where your opponent can literally pick out the one fate card to ruin your day.
Yeah. I was gonna say no. Yeah.
So that doesn't seem fair.
I mean, to their credit, I think one thing they try to do to balance that out is number one, if you do play after them and you get Pacha out, you could, in theory, shuffle some decks around. So if you want to screw up what they're doing, you could, but you also could be doing a detriment to yourself, depending on if you know where Cusco
exactly.
is. The other thing, too, is that whenever they play Beware the Groove, if they choose to shuffle 2 decks together, that means they have to fate again to see what cards they originally saw in the deck they looked at they might have shuffled together. And, you know, they'll be like, all right, so I shuffled these 2 together. I don't know what was in this one, or like I know what were in these 2, but where are they placed now? You know, there is still a little bit of guessing game to it. I think
there's
the biggest
more guessing involved, but again, it doesn't take very long for them to get back to the position of okay, now I know where.
Yeah.
Just wait for a minute, and as soon as something happens, just oh wait, you didn't realize Tipo's been over there the entire time? Ha ha.
God, I hate the kids.
There's another question in here too. If you could change something about a character, what would it be besides Ursula?
No, all right, good.
Taking out the easy one, huh?
Yeah, damn it.
Honestly, I would want to kind of either figure out a way to redo Yzma's Fate deck where it's not so. Like, I get why they did it the way they did, but at the same time, it's just so against Yzma that I don't.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
That would probably be the one thing, is change Yzma's mechanic to be a little more, like, standard.
I think the way you could do that is make it so instead of seeing the whole deck, the player still chooses, but they only take 2 cards. And then, like...
Yeah, that does take some of some of the stupidness out of it.
Yeah, and then what you do is you put 1 card back into that particular deck and you shuffle it. So you still do the whole, and then like it would be the same thing of like where it says like, oh, if you can't play the cards, put them back. You put the 2 cards back into the deck, or shuffled back in there. So I think that'd be the best way to approach it.
Probably.
Just to make it so, like, maybe you figure out what cards are in that deck at one point, and maybe you don't play one right away, but at the same time, it's still a guessing game, depending on how many are left.
Yeah, I don't like, in a game like this, even though it's asymmetrical, I don't like the idea of your opponent knowing more about what's going on than you do.
No.
That doesn't seem all that great. Um, that would probably be the one big change that I'd go for.
I don't really think I have any big changes. I think a lot of mine that I've brewed this up in my brain that once we have an official tournament of some kind, after the tournament ends, we can kind of take the results from the tournament and kind of evaluate like what kind of just blasted through. And there was already a few things I was kind of after playing a lot of games that I would probably do. Buff nerf type of thing. It's not an entirely like game changing mechanic. I mean, there'd be little things like Eye of the Fates, make it 1, not 2. Stuff like that.
Good.
I think with Evil Queen, I would probably make Snow White have a little bit more strength. Not too much. I would say like 2, like make her a 6 instead of a 4, just to make it so it at least requires them to brew a little bit more poison, which requires a little bit more power. And other little things too, like can I just tell you, when Sheriff Nottingham comes out to play in Prince John's Land, and Robin Hood's not out there, you are stuck.
Yeah, you're in a bad place.
Yeah, so my thing would be little very like numerical changes, like make the Sheriff of Nottingham like a 4 cost instead of a 3 or something like that, or make him so he has less strength, because then there's the weird combo stuff that you can do with Sheriff of Nottingham, where if you put the golden arrow and the other arrows on him, not only is he moving to the location, you can vanquish at that location, and he makes money for you on top of the money he already made, which is busted.
Right.
So it'd be like small things like that. I don't think there's anything super game changing in this game that I really want to do it.
Oh no,
besides
like
Ursula.
the engine itself is very smooth. I'd say it's really just Yzma that sticks out as having broken that formula just a little bit too much.
Yeah, I still find Yzma fun to play. I think it's one of the things that because like I enjoy the movie, I enjoy the Yzma as a character. The fact that really Kronk is more of the character in her deck than she is in a way is kind of interesting to me. Because I mean, no, if you don't like Kronk in the movie, I mean, what's wrong with you?
Why are you watching the movie?
Yeah. But yeah, I do. I think in a metagame perspective, I definitely think the Fate deck stuff is a little busted. So.
And then there's Ursula.
Yeah, and then there's Ursula. There are all sorts of things we could talk about Ursula.
Even more.
We could do a whole second show on Ursula right now if you want to.
She's already kind of been beaten into the dirt.
Yeah, we beat her into the ground enough. She can rest in peace. Bless you, Ursula. Oh God. You know, one thing I hope that they do is I really hope that they add more puzzles. Because I will tell you up front, if they make a Scar puzzle with the artwork on it, I'm buying it. I'm buying it.
You know, I've actually seen a few different people on the server picking those puzzles up. And I mean, I didn't even know they were a thing until Evil Comes Prepared. But
they came out at Evil Comes Prepared, that's why.
Is that? Okay.
Yeah. And it was only the original 6, too. So I assume
they'll probably be around then.
I assume they will make more, but I mean, because I was gonna say Ravensburger's bread and butter is puzzles. So,
are there any characters you don't want to see in the game? I mean, anything. Well, I shouldn't say that. That could be used against me really easily. I absolutely do not want to see whatever the cowboy thing.
You mean was it Home on the Range?
Yeah, no, don't
No.
Don't particularly care to have like the Siamese twins.
Oh, or the Siamese cats from Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah.
Okay.
That doesn't seem that great. Definitely do not need Edgar. I could go 100 years and never.
You know, he's gonna be the Waluigi of this game. You know that, right?
He is.
Yeah.
I can see it already. Let's see. Is there anyone else that really doesn't? If we're gonna go into Pixar, I don't necessarily. I I shouldn't say that either. uh, I I I don't know about what was it? Oh, this isn't Pixar. What am I thinking? There were a few people who were thinking about picking over King Candy for Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I don't. I think it's okay, but at the same time, don't. Like, if you're going to use that movie, use the fun one.
Oh,
Don't
yeah,
use
no. Yes, please.
don't use Big Fist Edgelord.
Yeah, no, please don't do that.
I don't know. Like, for the most part, when it comes to games like this, I don't really like the concept of counting anyone out.
Yeah.
But there's definitely some that just don't feel like they'd fit right. And I know a lot of people have said that about Frollo before. I still obviously very much have hope for him. But I can kind of see where they're coming from, so I'll respectfully disagree there.
Yeah. This is my thought process when it comes to character selection with anything. When it comes to a fighting game, a racing game, this game, whatever have you. Having more characters of all sorts of types is always just going to help bring a very good variety to your roster, even when it's really odd and outputting. Case in point, we can go to the Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Loads of people were like, who the hell is MODOK? Who the hell is Rocket Raccoon? Who the hell is this Shenko character? And believe it or not, all three of those characters, they're not top tier, but they're on some of people's favorite characters to choose. I remember back when I was watching Marvel 3 tournaments, man, that's a long time ago for me, back in like 2011, 2012, and when everyone thought Rocket Raccoon was garbage tier, and someone in Japan beat a whole like tournament, never lost, because they were using Rocket Raccoon, and no one knew how to fight him. And
I did not see that.
Yeah, I think, and the thing is, like, when you have weird oddball characters like that, I think even with characters you might not necessarily want, because you have to think about this. Venom was not in that game, and Venom is definitely, like, he's a favorite of mine, but as well as a huge majority of, like, Marvel and fighting game fans, Venom's a huge part of theirs. But, like, even without him there, like, you still had a really good variety of characters in that roster that were fun and cool and had their own unique gimmicks. And as long as you just keep doing that with this game, I can care less who you put in. If you put Edgar in this game, cool. Make it, as long as you make it fun. That's kind of always been my thought process with this stuff.
Yeah, being somebody who's advocated putting Sora in Smash Brothers for years now, I kind of accept that you won't always get your ideal characters, but at the same time, you really shouldn't count anybody out either.
No, never.
What we've gotten instead of Sora has all ended up being fairly agreeable.
Except for Fire Emblem characters. Not gonna let that one live you down, right?
Nope.
Wait, no, it's not called Smash Brothers. It's called Fire Emblem plus Nintendo.
And Fire Emblem Fighters.
Yeah. Isn't Fire Emblem the most represented game in that game?
It is. They have like 9 now.
Really? Oh my god.
Although, technically, if you count the Pokemon trainer as 3 separate things, I think they tie.
So was it, you got the 3 characters from that? Pikachu,
Pichu, Greninja, Lucario, Incineroar. Like, there's so many Pokemon.
There's a lot of Pokemon. I mean, the nice thing about the Pokemon, though, is that they're not all sword users and don't all have like
they're not all the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not, clones of each other.
Yeah, I know exactly. It's like, all right, we're gonna make a Star Wars fighting game, but it's gonna be nothing but clones in the chat, or not in the chat, in the game. We're gonna have nothing but Commander Cody, Captain Rex, a standard clone trooper, a stormtrooper, a First Order stormtrooper. Oh my
Right.
God, I would cry. That would be like, yeah, we're gonna make this awesome fighting game, but it's gonna be nothing but clone troopers. God, that would be a sad, sad day. Man. That's a pretty good question. Joker, that sounds great. What are you talking about? Are you crazy? Will Smith, do you understand? Well, Commander Cody, like, if you have the main, like, clone troopers, like, Rex and Cody, fine. But don't make it like you have those two and then, like, a generic stormtrooper and stuff like that.
See, that's kind of how I felt when the first DLC ended up being Piranha Plant.
Yeah?
Like, get this basic enemy out of my fighting game. Give me something with some substance.
Yeah. Especially because he was, like, super weird, too. Because I'm a huge fan of Petey Piranha from Mario. I think he's a cool looking character and stuff. But, like, I will want that representation rather than just a generic Piranha Plant. But, yeah, I know. I get you. I understand. Man, I relate so much to fighting game stuff with Villainous. It's not even funny. Like, my days of playing Killer Instinct are so tied to this game. Like, so tied. I miss it. I gotta start playing more fighting games again. The only fighting game I play right now is Dragon Ball FighterZ. And that game sometimes, I love it, but it is so high octane energy at all times where you're like, all right, play for 45 minutes to an hour, take a break. For a long time. But I enjoy it. Anyone else in chat got any questions? Anything else? Come on, let us know, people.
Keep it,
Yeah,
keep it
going.
rolling, guys.
We sadly are not doing any subscriber stuff. It seems like our subscriber count has not jumped, but hey, it's okay. I'm still having a fun time.
That's fine.
Yeah, no, it's okay. We could save our Ursula mirror match for another day. Oh, you're cutting out, friend. Don't leave me. What are your next plans for versus games posted on YouTube? What do you mean by that, Prospero? Ditto, you still here with me? Oh no, I think Ditto might have cut out on us. He's still here, everybody.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, never mind. You were like beeping and booping on my end.
Whoops.
It might have been on my end. Who knows? He's alive. You post your versus games on YouTube. What are my plans?
Some of them have been going up.
What are my plans?
That's kind of your.
Yeah. What? So the thing with those videos is that I kind of do I do a little thing that a little person on the YouTube's called Maximilian Dude. Some of you folks might know who he is. Some of you folks may not. He is the big fighting game YouTuber on the internets. And what I've been doing is that he goes by a mantra of a video a day. So I want to try to keep it going where we have, at one point, have a video up of matches a day. But I just don't necessarily have all the back catalog yet to really do that, as well as the time to be playing that much Villainous. And that's not necessarily something I would love to play that much Villainous, but I also know deep down that I actually enjoy playing other board games too. Villainous is just on the top of my list. So that's kind of what I want to do with those matches. And there's still the variety of the types of matches are still going to be up. I originally want to do something like a week of, where we have like a week of a particular character. In the very early stages of the podcast, we were originally going to be doing a lot of like character breakdown stuff. And then when we have that week on the podcast, we would have like a week of just playing that character. That didn't end up working out, mainly just because we just found a different groove with the show. And we actually have not really done that, unless you count the Ursula remix, which, Prospero, I don't know if you watched that one. I hope you don't hate us for that show. But yeah, there really isn't necessarily any changes of plans. Once I move to the new place, my plan is to try to rework some of the art for for the template that's over the screen and stuff like that. Maybe redo the thumbnail art a little bit, but not too much. But I plan on just keeping those going the way they are. Once Marvel Villainous comes out, I might try to make it so it's like we go every other one. Um, you don't have to like every game or every aspect of a game. No, you don't. There are definitely things in Villainous I don't 100% agree with, and there's other games that I really love I also don't 100% agree with. Star Wars Destiny, one of my favorite games of all time, right underneath this one, Villainous. I have lots of gripes with that game. Lots of them. If you played early Star Wars Destiny, you understand. Well, yeah. So we got another question in here. If Villainous was not have any more expansions, would you be satisfied?
That's the fun question.
That's a tough question.
I think I would be. I'd obviously be missing out on some fan favorites, but I think what would be there and how smooth everything is for the most part, I'd definitely be content to enjoy it as it is.
So I'm going to make this weird comparison. I don't know how many people are going to understand what I'm talking about, but I'll try to go into it a little bit. So, one of my favorite fighting games of all time, not Killer Instinct, is Marvel vs. Capcom 3 specifically. And then you have a game in Marvel vs. Capcom lore called Marvel Infinite, which, if any of you have saw that Marvel Infinite, that game looks like trash. All right, huge disappointment. Gameplay's still really good, but overall, a very big disappointment. People were not satisfied with that game. We were very satisfied with Marvel 3, even though there was a lot of jank in it that we weren't super proud of. I would say probably, but I love Marvel 3. Marvel 3 is one of my favorite pillars of games that I've played. I would probably put Villainous right now where it is along the Ultimate Marvel 3, where there was some jank. There's some weird stuff with it when you get down to the nitty gritty, but overall as a package and as a whole with what we have, I'm pretty satisfied with it. There would be things I would be missing. I do really want Oogie Boogie and Gaston for sure. If we do not get at least Gaston, I'd be kind of a little sad, but I still be okay. I think that's how I would put it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Minecraft is my favorite video game, and it's a game I could criticize for ages. It's like you love it so much, you see so much potential, and that potential doesn't get me or get met or goes a different path.
Minecraft. Oh, Minecraft.
Yeah, I got into Minecraft about a year ago, and I actually really enjoyed my time with Minecraft. It's not something I can constantly play like some people, but it's definitely something when I'm in the mood for it, I'm really down with it.
Game that defines an era.
Yeah, it's weird.
Oh, I really love it though. It's so much fun.
It is good. I love me some Lego building in Minecraft. Let me tell you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Have you played the Minecraft board game at all?
There's a board game now?
Oh yeah, it's Minecraft Builders and Biomes.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually pretty fun.
I did not know that.
It's pretty fun. It's pretty much it's literally you are in a world and you have to get cubes to build property and fight little mobs and stuff. And they're actually coming out with an expansion for it. And it's by Ravensburg.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I've really enjoyed it. Ever tried Shovel Knight fighting mode? So I tried. Was it Shovel Knight Showdown? I've played Shovel Knight Showdown. I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm a huge fan of Shovel Knight though. Huge fan of Shovel Knight. Was it the Minecraft card game is hilarious? The crafting recipes are all wrong. I have not played the card game, but I've heard some interesting factoids about how people view that game. But this is not the card game and the board game are two separate entities. I don't even think Ravensburger had anything to do with the
card game was a thing.
Yeah.
I didn't realize there was a board game.
No.
I have to look back.
Yeah, Builders and Biomes is what the official title is after Minecraft. So it's definitely worth a check out. If you're a fan of Minecraft, you'll really like this game.
Awesome.
And even if you're not, it's still a really good game. Like, really good. Who is the most balanced villain in your opinion? Ooh, I have a straight up answer for you. And that answer is Dr. Facilier. He is I think when it comes to the overarching, core of what the game wants to be, he has everything that counters against him. Also has the tools to go against that stuff. He is busted, but also has enough stuff to make it calm the amount of bustedness he is. So I think if you were to go sit here and design custom villains, from my opinion, he is the one you should, like, he is the pillar. I know Prospero said that they built Jafar, and Jafar is kind of their pillar in terms of their design when they were first building the game. I think that Dr. Facilier is the pillar because he is definitely the best designed, most fun to play. Even though he's good, he's not like punching in your face good. But he can still stand his own against some of the higher characters in terms of how powerful they are. So that's who I would say.
Yeah, that's fair. As far as I'd guess, most balanced, huh?
Yeah.
I'd say probably Prince John.
Yeah? Ooh. That's a choice.
My opinion on Prince John has changed pretty drastically from the early days.
Yeah?
I used to think he was kind of not so good.
Oh, he's good. He's good.
And then these days, he's pretty good, but he's got enough counter play to him. And to his credit, he's been around longer than Facilier, so we have kind of more counterplay there.
Yeah.
I think his counterplay is just enough that Prince John is a decent metric for just kind of generally how strong a character should be. Because it's like, if you don't fake Prince John, then he just wins passively by sitting there.
Right.
If you do fake Prince John, he wins passively by, employing all the tools he has.
Right.
So he never feels like he's stuck.
That's a good one. That's a really good choice.
Which is something that you kind of always want to. And as someone who has done customs, I've been trying to kind of ensure that none of the characters I do ever really get that degree, like the rat, and how you can just lock the rat out of playing the game.
Yeah, that's true.
I hate that.
I know.
I think Prince John is the most consistent, win by skill alone character versus abusing particular gimmicks or just getting overly lucky.
Yeah, I think that's the weird balance when it comes to some of these characters, that you want to give them cool tools, but then it could be like, oh, you got someone who's got like Evil Queen, who you give her all these ingredients that give her all these unique abilities, like off the bat, and then like this poison mechanic that's like, all right, we want you to try to put a lot of poison in so that way you can kill a really strong Snow White, but really it's like you can just kind of boop, 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 put all the poison in
rush
and
the
done.
Ingredients, drop the mirror, you're done.
Yeah, you're done. With Prince John, you can passively win, but also if the opponent is going to fate you, you have to make sure you're passively putting out tools to counteract that, and he has that.
Yeah.
Which requires him to spend money, which is what he needs for his goal. So it's a nice balance of it. I agree. That's a good question. Someone asked, will you post this on YouTube? Yes, this will be going up on Monday. Usual time. All the stuff. The audio of this will also be posted to the podcast services.
Right.
So yes, all the normal stuff. So, all right, friends, we have 15 minutes left. Ask your questions. Ask them now. Who here in the chat wants Gaston? Let Prospero Hall know. So that way they can tell Ravensburger that, hey, we have this Gaston design. Can we just go ahead and release them to the public? And Fantasy Flight style, where it's like a little pack of cards or whatnot,
Right.
that would be a weird time if they pulled the Fantasy Flight model of the living card game, where it was like every month we just got a new villain. Oh my God.
Right.
That'd be insane.
That'd be so much fun.
Yeah. Well, thanks for hanging out with us, Chubby Panda.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
We have several. We have several decks already designed. Ooh, that's hype. Oh, that's hype. Oh, boy.
Did you just say that? Did you just say that in the chat, Prospero? Did you just say that?
Yes, they did. Oh boy.
You beautiful people. Everybody,
here, folks.
you heard it here
The
for here,
game
folks.
lives on.
Oh my God. Oh God. Well, that was a bomb. Yeah. Well, all I have to say is that if there is not something in that deck that is something about large as a barge, I'm flipping the table. I'm gonna flip it.
No, don't do that.
No. Or was it 5 dozen eggs? Something along those lines.
Yeah.
You got to have one of those in there. You have to. Holy shnikes. That was something I was not expecting. Woo!
Well, I mean, it's good to know at least.
Yeah.
Whether or not they're published isn't necessarily up to us. Yeah, that's fair. But I mean, come on though. Who would willingly choose not to publish this?
Wait, so all right, you folks don't have to answer this question, but like let's say for a previous villain. So like when you guys design these characters, do you have different iterations and then the Ravensburger / Disney has to approve which version? Is that what you guys are kind of hinting at as well? Where there's not like one defined version that you give to them, but there's like several and then you folks choose? That's what I'm curious about, because the way you're phrasing that, that's what I'm taking. Or if you're just saying there's several decks or several characters you have designed. Because if that's the case...
Like, I'm just going to take it. Design autonomy. Yeah, I'm pretty much just going to take it in the most optimistic way I can.
Okay, yeah. All right. All right, everybody. You heard it here, folks. Gaston is alive somewhere in some place. Now, the question is, where's the bag? Where is the bag?
Here it comes.
Where is the bag? And if the bag doesn't come...
This idea just popped into my mind. But watch it be that Oogie's not actually a character, but when they release like the storage option, it's just a giant bag in the shape of Oogie.
No! I will not take it! I will not take it!
It'd be so funny,
it's like, hey Joker, we heard you really like bags. Here's a bag storage option for you. It's got like Oogie's face on it. Oh
Yep.
my God. That would be the biggest tease of all time.
That would be the greatest troll ever.
Oh my God. That's like, oh yeah, instead of Oogie Boogie, we're putting Edgar. We're putting Edgar in this game.
No, I wouldn't take it that far, but really, though.
No, you know, that would be my life though. In my luck, that would be what happens.
No, but like actually just him as the bag, and then Dr. Finkelstein's the actual villain.
Oh my God. Oh my God, don't do this to me.
That'd be so funny.
Don't do this to me.
That'd be so funny.
I would be so sad. Oh God. My heart. My heart. Oh, you sent me a heart. What are you trying to tell me, Prospero? Are you telling me that my dreams will come true or my dreams are going to get crushed? One of the two. Just let me know now so I can...
about a game about villainy and deception.
I mean, who does it better? The sound of roll of dice to me is music in the air. Oh, you love me? Okay. All right. I'm going to take that as a Oogie Boogie confirmation. I love you guys too. I appreciate you folks hanging out with us on a...
No, you guys are awesome.
Yeah, no. I know for you folks it's not as late, but I still appreciate you folks on your Saturday taking the time just to sit here and listen to us ramble. Actually, as a matter of fact, all of you folks who have been hanging out and asking questions, it's been fun. Seriously, you're folks.
Do this more often.
Yeah, I know we should. Honestly, once I get to my new place, I'm gonna get a better streaming setup all put together. We love your show. Well, thank you. This is one of my prides and joys every week. I really enjoy doing this show. I've always wanted to do a podcast. This is some inside ball information to all of you. I've mentioned this when we had Lord of the Board on our show, but one of my absolute favorite people on the internet is Greg Miller from Kinda Funny. I've been following him since I was reading IGN reviews back in the day, And him doing podcasts really inspired me to want to do YouTube video type of things and like just talk into a microphone about stuff. And I just could never really find something that I was really passionate about to talk about until this game. This was the first thing that I really just wanted to sit down and just talk about. And it helped out. I had folks like Ditto and people from the Discord that want to join me on it as well. So,
Oh, without a doubt. Like, over time, I've realized that entertainment really is kind of something that's fun to get into. And I mean, I'm not gonna speak for myself and like try to blow myself up as being the funniest man alive, but I like to think that I can be funny now and again. So
you are.
If I have a vector to do that and everyone enjoys it, and it's about something we can all really come together and build a community around, then I'm all for it.
Exactly. I mean, that's not honestly like I was shocked when we first started the show how many people joined the Discord.
No, that happens so fast.
It was ridiculous how many people just came in and droves.
And it hasn't really slowed down either, and that's the coolest thing about it all.
Yeah, everyone's just coming in, and like it exploded. Like nobody was ready for that much like new people, new faces.
Yeah, I think in the couple of weeks since we had started the show, like right at the beginning, we went from about 50 people on our server to like 100 or so.
It's now at like 250
in the span of a couple. No, we're up to 300 now.
Oh, really?
God. We hit past 300 a while ago.
Oh wow! Oh my God! Jesus, it's a lot of people.
So much bigger. It's so cool, and it's great that you guys enjoy this too, because it's so nice.
Yeah,
it's nice to just be able to sit back and look at something that we all like and say, hey, let's just enjoy this for a bit.
Yeah. And I don't take this lightly. Like, when it comes to entertainment, like you want to make stuff because people are listening. And I wasn't really expecting that many people to listen to the show. And I looked back at the first show that we did and how many people watched it just on YouTube. And it blows my mind that many people really wanted to sit down and listen to us talk about Disney Villainous.
Oh, absolutely.
And like even stuff like I looked at the unboxing video from Perfectly Wretched and how many people watched that. It's like, sure, like you talk YouTube and nonsense and all that stuff. It's like, oh, views, but like when you actually create stuff, you want to make sure that there is a lot of people sitting and enjoying the content that you're creating.
Oh yeah, it's really the community.
Yeah,
that makes this entire thing worth it.
Right. And if we didn't have the Discord channel and stuff after we do the show, I don't think I would be really wanting to do this. I really like the fact that we have people that come in and want to sit and talk meta and design and like random Disney facts. It means a lot that we can have that type of discourse. Funny enough, Discord. That about the game. It's also like the first Discord community I've been really a part of too. I was a member of Level 99's Discord when I was doing playtesting for Exceed, but not like a fan. It was more of just like playtesting stuff. But this was like the first community that I was really just super involved in. So
yeah,
it's been really
I'm
awesome.
kind of in the same boat where it's like I join different servers now and again just whenever it's something I'm interested in testing or just kind of keeping up with news about. But this is the first one that I've actually been able to really get involved with, and it's just been a fun time all around. So
I know it's been I
think spreading the word, guys.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say you were around before even I was. I think so, because I think you were the first. It was you or Wero were one of the first people I played on TTS.
Really?
Yeah. I forget which one of you two it was. It was one of you two. But
I honestly thought I was getting into the server at a late time.
Well, no, because I'm pretty sure the server got started up when Evil Comes Prepared came out. If I remember correctly, when I was talking with the admins about everything.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. There's a nice little comment I would like to read. I'm very glad to have found your Discord. I still haven't played all the characters, but your channel has helped me understand the game more. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I know the funniest thing I love about YouTube is that when I play matches with anybody, even Ditto. someone comments, he's like, they screwed up the game. They didn't play this right, or they why did they do this strategy? And I'm like, dudes. I forgot that Zazu was on the board, so I can't use a stampede and vanquish the person with 3 strength. I have 1. Big deal. We're having a fun time here. That's what the whole channel's about. You know, if I want to put up pro matches of Disney Villainous all the time, no one will want to come watch this stuff. No one. I'll just be honest. Especially once this Yzma Gothel match goes live. Do you not understand the hilarity that is going to be shown? Or actually, I think
there's the Pete match coming up.
I was gonna say next week is the Pete match.
Oh boy.
The one where I flipped the table because I was getting so pissed off at play a game. Oh my god.
Yep.
Oh my god. I was so frustrated at that shit. Oh my god.
That's the one. You can tell he's still salty over it because he brought it up.
No. It's not necessarily that I was salty. I'm not salty. Like I was, I'm salty. I'm just gonna say it. I'm salty. You know, this is God. That game was it just took too long. That was the problem. That was the whole issue. Joker, you forgot to move Rapunzel at the end of the turn. Rages.
I feel like that's gonna be a common one in console games.
No. It's something you have to honestly keep track of too, because if you forget to move Rapunzel when you're supposed to, like that completely changes how you're supposed to play your turn. That changes the strategy up
completely.
Yeah. So, that's interesting to say the least. Well, the time is slowing down, everybody. The show is coming to a close here. We did get a bomb, so thanks Prospero for giving us that slight hint in the chat. And thanks for all of you for joining and asking questions. If you have any last questions, please ask them now. I'm going to hop off here and probably go play Animal Crossing. I don't know what you're going to do, Ditto. Are you going to play Mystery Dungeon?
I haven't decided if I'm going to play that or if I'm going to go back and play some Smash Brothers.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, I think tomorrow is going to be Dragon Ball FighterZ Day for me. Going to clean the apartment a little bit. Then go play some Dragon Ball. God, I love Dragon Ball FighterZ so much. Is anyone in the chat a Dragon Ball Z fan or Dragon Ball fan at all? Dragon Ball fans in the chat. Anyone, please let me know. Ditto, it doesn't sound like you're a Dragon Ball fan.
I just never, I don't have anything against it, but I never really got into the hype. It's just kind of been a thing that existed. I know a lot of people who were interested in it a lot.
I remember I was not a Dragon Ball Z fan until I played Dragon Ball FighterZ because I'm a fighting game guy. But then after FighterZ, learning about how much love and care went into that game, and then I was like, oh, I'll go try watching some of it. And I started watching Dragon Ball Super, and I was just instantly hooked. I love it. Yeah. And we got some Dragon Ball. We got some Dragon Ball fans in the chat. Don't you know anything about Dragon Ball except the Ginyu guys? We are the Ginyu Force. Okay. I saw Prospero said that you guys are Dragon Ball Z fans. Do any of you guys play the Dragon Ball Super trading card game? Because it's great. Also, when is Jiren coming to Villainous? If Jiren doesn't come to Villainous, I'll be like, the game's not over. Actually, I take that back. When is Shaggy coming to Villainous? Let me know that one.
Oh boy,
I had to bring that one up.
You want to talk about the real leaks?
I remember when Ed Boon on Twitter was like, no, Shaggy is not coming to Mortal Kombat. And I was just like, they also had to address it in an actual Mortal Kombat stream. I remember the community manager was like, a real question was like, is Shaggy coming? I was just like, oh my God.
You would be amazed what people would support memes.
Oh God.
It's crazy.
The funniest thing was if Shaggy actually made it in a Mortal Kombat, you know me, Joker Jonesy here would play the shit out of Shaggy just because I can.
Well, you absolutely would.
Oh no, I would.
Thanos, Darth Vader, Voldemort set.
When?
Well, we know one of those is coming.
Yeah, one of those is definitely happening.
We can expect two of them to be coming.
Yeah. But
That third one, call me back in like a year. We'll
Yeah,
see.
what was it? I saw something at Board Game Geek where someone wanted a Harry Potter villainous. I don't know if we could really have that one. I don't think there's enough.
Nah, not really.
No. No. I know all you Harry Potter fans, everyone wants their fandom in villainous because the engine is just so good. You know, it's like worker placement with cards, with defeating stuff and milling. It's got everything that everybody wants. You know, it's
Pretty much, yeah.
yeah. But I think we'll go ahead and wrap up the show, everybody. I think this is it. Thank you all so much for joining us for this 2-hour long special. If for some reason you missed any of it, it's going to be uploaded on Monday. The video on demand will be on YouTube as the podcast. The audio will go up on podcast services. Speaking of podcast services around the globe, I can say that now. I can steal that quote from Greg now. Podcast services around the globe. So pretty much every popular podcast service that you know of, it's there. If we don't have it, I mean, I'm sorry, it's too niche. But we got it on everything that you folks really care about. So, Ditto, you have any last words?
Just thank you guys for sticking around this long, because like I wasn't expecting it to make it this far. The fact that it has is incredible, and I really couldn't say enough for you guys about just how much I appreciate the community that this is starting to build, because this is easily one of the best group of people that I personally have dealt with in a long time, and I think this is something that in its current state is perfect. Just keep bringing them in, just over time we'll turn this into something really strong.
This show has done a lot of joy to me. I don't want to get too sappy, but it's been awesome doing the show. I really appreciate all of you coming in, and also the people joining in the community, just being super nice. It's been fantastic, and I appreciate all of your positivity that you folks have brought us on the show, in the server, and I hope that we on the show have done the same for you folks in your lives, especially during these weird times in the world, that us talking about the game and Disney and tabletop have done you a good service in your life and brought you some type of positivity. Because if there's one thing I definitely want to make sure that we do in the Discord, as well as on the show, as well as something that I try to do in my daily life, is positivity. And if we can give you folks that, we have already done more than we ever could. So bottom of my heart, thank you, everybody. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. So thank you so much for all of you joining us today. Stay wicked. Go play some villainous, hopefully tonight or tomorrow or whenever. And yeah, I think we're signing off. Goodbye, friends. Peace out and stay wicked, everybody.